And welcome back to the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez. I know you may remember me on Action 7 News for many years at Channel 7. And I couldn't sit still, let's say. And so this podcast was born, and I'm joining 24 million other podcasters. But I have a special podcast because it's about New Mexico and New Mexicans. And I know a few, and I'm telling you, they're impressive. How they started and where they're at. And so on our next episode, which is developing as we speak, let's introduce you to, well, he doesn't need an introduction. If you've watched Breaking Bad, please help me welcome none other than Mr. Steven Quezada.
Steven Michael Quezada.
I knew he was going to correct me because I said, now, wait a minute.
People do it all the time. Don't feel bad. I mean, that's probably the most that happens, because when you have two first names, right,
yes.
Right? They're easy to. But I want to get back to you. We may know who Nelson Martinez is. I'm just going to let you know that some of us old guys, we're still around.
I'm so glad.
Right? Right away, you're just thinking about that younger crowd, and that's okay. We want to involve them.
Sure.
In a journey, right? They want to learn from our journey.
Yes, they
do. But Nelson Martinez is a staple of New Mexico when it came to what the news used to be. When somebody actually gave you facts and gave you the news and let you as a human being decipher that and figure out how does that affect me. You weren't in an era where it was more of an influence.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And there's this line I think that's been crossed.
Yes.
And so I'm going to end with this. We miss you.
Oh.
We miss that type of newscaster and somebody who also had his journey here in New Mexico, who probably didn't have a chance in hell to get to where you were, and you did that. And that's what we saw. So in case you don't know this, that's what Chicanos like me, a kid that grew up poor in the barrio, and TV was everything to us. TV was our escape.
Yes.
And to see you on TV gave us hope that we could aspire to do that work, to be artists, to be make it in front of a television camera, and to have a career. Wow. You were around the same time when we saw Freddie Prinze do a network television show playing a Chicano. Now, we know he was Puerto Rican.
That's right.
But he did play a Chicano.
That's right.
On Chico and the Man. That was the era, believe it or not, that Latinos like me, Chicanos like me, started to make other decisions saying, maybe there is a path for us.
Yes.
Maybe there is a way. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that.
Boy, we're interviewing the great Steven Michael Quezada. Did I get it?
You got it.
I mean, listen to him. I mean, you speak truth, But no, seriously, it's about him and his successes. And you've had them. And I want to hear here on the Spanglish Show, a little Spanish, a little English, no te fijas, about your beginnings, dude. I mean, the harder people say, you're so lucky. They used to tell me that. Oh, you're lucky doing the news. Lucky, my friend. Maybe, yeah, you got to be in the right place at the right time, but you've got to work it.
So let's talk about luck, right? Let's talk about it, right? So people always say that what we do for a living is 90% luck, 10% talent. And that's okay.
Yeah,
so, and we'll agree with them, right? We won't debate them, we won't argue with them. But if you don't work hard at that 10%, if you aren't the best that you could possibly be of that 10% that you're trying to, be a part of, right? Yeah. Because the luck will never happen.
Yeah.
Luck will never exist if you're not the absolute best.
The driver.
Right?
Yes.
At that 10%, the 90% will never happen. Yeah. There will be no luck.
That's right.
So I will take the 90% luck. Yes. I will.
But the other percentage in there
But the moment when I got my break, I was prepared for that.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So that 10% was on the money. I would do comedy at if you had a stage and a microphone, I don't care where it was or where it was located, it could be anywhere. Nelson, and I would grab that mic
And
I would go for it.
intuition, you got a
Yeah.
DNA thing that we're probably
It's
many.
what I wanted to be.
There you are.
right?
Why, I wonder,
It's
huh?
what I wanted to be,
Some
and I
DNA
knew
was driving you.
It was gonna have to.
Yeah.
I was gonna have to learn the hard way to do that, especially coming from a state like New Mexico, where opportunities are very small. At that point, they've changed for us now.
Yeah.
You know,
There's more openings. I think more
if
opportunities.
me and you are young now, they're lucky we ain't young now. Right? 'Cause we would really,
We really
they would
can't.
have big competition with me and you in the room. But you know, we're happy for this next generation.
Totally.
Right? That's what we wanted. That's what we fought for.
Yeah.
That the children here in New Mexico have the same and better opportunities than what we
and someone
do.
to look up to, in a sense. Not that I don't look up to me, look up to this guy, because you
Well,
know,
not even that. I don't want that either. I'm like you. I'm a kind of humble guy. But what I want you to do is look at saying, if we could do it, anybody could do it. But you got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
We get credit for that. We get credit for the work, the sacrifices that we made. Nothing comes easy. We always talk on podcasts and stuff about the cool part or the journey part, but no one really talks about the hard part.
That's what I was going to say. A good segue to what is hard work? Define it. Hard work is just putting in the time. It's not breaking your back necessarily. And a lot of people think, I don't know.
Now, I mean, I had uncles and my father and brothers who knew how to break their back.
Sure.
Right? They knew how to work
Con
that
la
hard.
pala y el clavador.
Yeah, right. And that's why I always laugh that when we're talking about some of the changes they want to make in Congress, like they want to bump retirement to 70 years old. And I mean, that's cool for me and you.
Yeah, cool.
Right? Because we're not breaking our back.
No.
But you expect a guy who does flooring.
Por toda su vida.
See, my uncle did flooring. I just did my final, I do flooring as well, right? So I did
Man of all trades.
Well, I could do flooring, I could build stuff. I'm interested.
Can you make tortillas?
My wife makes way better tortillas, so I got fired. But I did my floors upstairs in my house about a year ago. I wanted to get rid of carpet.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to say this officially. I'm anti-carpet, and so
Oh, no.
so I went to hardwood floors. But I did the floors myself because I wanted to make it affordable. We're working on upgrading my home now because all my 3 daughters,
Ay, se fueron.
they're gone. So now stuff for me, stuff for us, right?
Good.
So I put the floor in. And every day I'd have to use the floor to get myself up off the floor.
Yes.
And when I got up to do cuts, maybe 20, 30, 40 times a day, walk down the stairs, make the cut, come back up, do the floor. So I did the floor.
Wow.
And I'm 61 years old.
Right on.
Right?
Right on.
And I did it. It was painful. I had to sit in the massage chair. But I couldn't imagine, Nelson, that I would have to do that job to 70.
Fíjate. But God bless those folks who can. I've known several people that went from their job to Walmart greeter or something like that. Bless their hearts.
I know.
And a form of praying for me is when I realized, wow, I don't know how I got into the broadcast business. Thank you, partly Mary Lynn Roper. Gave me the opportunity. People give us opportunities.
You followed your journey, right? Your eyes were wide open. That's why I told my children, try everything.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be a master of anything right now. For what? For what reason?
And
you may not love it.
The Spanish saying is, a todo le tiro y casi nada le pego. Which means really basically you can try a lot of things and maybe once in a while you'll hit something. Anyway.
But it's a truth, though.
Yeah.
It's really a truthful statement. I told my daughters, try everything. You don't have to go into what I did, because let me tell you something. I did a bunch of other stuff before that was, before I saw that, where my eyes opened up and said, I think that's my journey.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah,
but it did all this, and it could have been all these other things.
Sure.
It could have been karate, it could have been boxing, it could have been
Isn't
baseball,
that
it could have been
mysterious,
it could have been art. I started out as drawing and painting, and it could have been that.
And you turned out to be Detective Gomez, son
right?
of a gun.
Yeah, on one of the greatest television shows ever
And you
made.
still get residuals. You're
of course we
SAG-AFTRA
That's the importance of unions.
Yes, it is.
Right? Those
yes,
are the importance of unions.
Yeah.
That I hope we don't have to find out in the next 4 years, that if we don't support them and not support them, because that will change the quality of life for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful for the union, and I'm
Yeah.
grateful for my breaks.
I
that
think
I've
I
done.
got into the union SAG-AFTRA in 1988.
That's good.
And
yeah,
so-
it took me way longer than that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good union.
It is.
It is.
I mean, it is
the
because
talented people behind it.
you know because they're continuing making money off of our image and our work, which we want them to.
Yep.
We just want a piece of it.
That's it. That's all. Un poquito. No las
It-
migajas.
and trust me, it
No
is
nomás las
poquito.
migajas.
Yeah, trust me, it is poquito. It's
Es
little
poquito,
compared to what they're making.
Sure,
Yeah.
I know it. Uno de estos días, I hope you see the real talent in this gentleman. When you do, some of you. But let's do the ¿cómo se llaman? The big epics, you know, that, or at least you don't know it's going to be an epic until it does.
Yeah.
But here it is. Steven Michael Quezada, Detective Gomez, and a recent movie. Let me see. Help me
So
with it.
so I have a movie out right now called Strange Darling.
Fíjate.
It's on video on demand right now. I probably won't be too much longer before it's like on Netflix or whatever.
Sure.
But it got really great reviews. Stephen King called it a masterpiece.
Oh, wow, bravo,
And
Mr.
so
King.
yeah, it's a
Thank you.
thriller though. So it's got its own kind of audience
you have a big
genre.
part in it?
A fairly big part, considering that there's probably only 8 actors in the whole film.
Wow. Well, congratulations, first
Yeah.
and foremost. And
Thank you.
Me, as a New Mexican through and through, and all my followers, rezamos por ti.
Yeah.
Que tengas mucho éxito, that you have the success and continue it.
Oh yeah, and I'll always be, working on how we could tell stories here in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I think my next chapter in my life is really about how do we come up and grow the industry to where we're putting out our content, right? We have so many great stories to tell in New Mexico.
Let me tell you.
We need to tell them.
Let me insert what bothers me more than anything, and a lot of people in town, of course, the homeless.
Yeah.
What is going to happen there? We're interviewing the mayor at some point here.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? What can we as actors do?
So as a county commissioner, I have really worked hard on what's the long-term plan.
What's the long-term
So so the short-term plan to me is it's a pretty simple thing. It's called homelessness, which it says it in the title of it of itself, is that we can spend millions of dollars on having facilities for rehab and treatment and training and follow through with all these things, and I believe in them all. And I think we should have them for when somebody's ready to change their life. We should do that, because if we don't, then we're not following what Jesus asked us to do. And so the problem is that we go through this, we get them through treatment, we go through job training, and then we drop them off at the exact same place where we got them, and you tell me now we wasted those dollars. We didn't waste them until that moment where we dropped them off right there at Civic Plaza and said, "Órale, bro,
Que te
good
vaya
luck.
bien, que te vaya bien.
Que te vaya bien, good luck,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And we'll see you,
Sad.
and do good."
Sad.
And he don't have a home. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't have. So,
¿Qué vamos a hacer?
and it's expensive, right? So my idea is a very pricey one, and
Yeah.
it means we need to continue to keep building smaller, affordable places that we could subsidize and get people in the homes. That's going to cost money, but no major city has figured it out. No, people act like other cities have done better. Well, they may have done better because maybe their education system is a little better. So maybe a lot of those kids don't follow in those, in those paths and in those footsteps, right?
Yeah.
That we're able to break that chain, because we come from those barrios, Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We do, right?
I
we've
had an outdoor toilet when I was growing up,
people,
bro.
and people around you had the struggle.
Yeah.
Right? You saw it.
Yeah.
We see it. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy battle, right?
No.
So we judge this guy, but yet we as a society don't follow through for this guy. And people will say, well, he chose that.
Do you know why I've heard they are where they are? Because they have no lobbyists. And why don't they have lobbyists? There's no money in for lobbyists to help
lobby
the poor.
for the homeless. Yeah.
So
No, they do though. They have people out there that are lobbying for affordable housing and these other types of programs, which is where we need to start focusing our attention.
And the one thing we didn't say in that part of what we need to do is mental health therapy. And some folks, my wife is a mental health therapist.
Yeah.
Can't be helped really in that regard.
Now because now they're very sick.
Yes.
So addiction to synthetic drugs that are manufactured, that's so addictive and so deadly that you just give yourself a disease, and people don't realize that at one point they're at a party.
Boom.
They start with one pill or one whatever.
Yep. Try it out. No.
And
I was always, as my career, I traveled all over the country. Thank you. Traveled in Latin America. Thank you. I was offered stuff just to get in good with you. You're the network editor. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was everything. And I'd say no. Why? Because my body might like it. I can't afford that nasty stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
it's become a disease and it's a sickness, and
you see it on Central.
And some are fighting and some are not. Yeah. And I'll tell you a quick little story. I went to a guy, and it was the weirdest thing because I met this guy from LA at the Starbucks by my house, and I still live up in near Westgate, right? So I'm still in the barrio. I've never left, and so I met with the guy over there at, he's writing a pilot. He wanted to pitch a pilot to Hollywood about my life because he was amazed that I raised 3 daughters. I was an actor and a comedian and a county commissioner. He goes, you got so much material. And so I want to meet with you. And so we met. We're at Starbucks outside. It was a beautiful day. And there was a homeless guy, Nelson, sitting there with an empty cup of water. And he's just sitting there, and his hair is messed up. I couldn't help but keep looking over to him. Wow, this guy's pitching me something that could possibly change my life and my family's life. Yeah. But I kept focusing on that. Yeah. But we got through the meeting. I got through the meeting. He goes, okay, thank you, whatever. And he goes, well, I'll write a pilot, and then we'll pitch it. And I said, yeah, however you want to go from there. So I get up. He goes to the parking lot. I go to the homeless guy. Yeah. And I go, hey, bro, have you eaten today? And he goes, nah, I haven't eaten. I go, well, hold on. So I went into Starbucks. I got one of the sandwiches. I got another glass of water. I went and I sat in front of him. And I go, here, bro. I go, but real quick, no strings attached. I could make a call right now and have somebody here within 10 minutes, and we will get you either to whatever you need. We can get you, figured out on if there's a treatment facility we could get you in. We've got plenty of those. We got rehab if that's where, and then we could get you on a journey to, a better life, right? And he looked at me square dead in the eyes and said, why do you hate me? And I go, bro, if I hated you, I wouldn't be helping you. Wow. He goes, well, you're looking at me like I'm the one with the problems. And I go, okay. Well, I mean, bro, He goes, no, bro, you're the one with the problems. He goes, you got up this morning and you wondering how you're going to pay that bank. How you're going to pay that bank for that house and that car that you're driving and your credit cards. He goes, you owe everybody, and every morning you get up, you worry about how you're going to follow through with that. I have none of that. I'm happy. I'm happy living here. I'm not the one with the problems. It's you. And so I got him. I go, you know what, bro? Eat your sandwich, enjoy your sandwich, and good luck, right? And I got in my Jeep, and I cried on the way home because I have all these bills, and he's right. How am I going to pay all these bills that I've accumulated in my life? But that's just reality. That's our reality. If you don't owe nothing, then you don't have nothing. That's right. That's the way it is these days.
I wanted to do a story on the homeless many times. And I asked them, I took a sampling. I went over to the edge here one day, and inconspicuous, I wasn't like vaunting any kind of anything, just my farmer clothes. Yeah. Y I entré and I said, excuse me. There you go. Todo pobrecito. It's hard to even look at some of these guys because they're in another planet.
Yeah, they're sick. Said, and they look sick.
Yeah. Hijo, como que no? Yeah. So I said, I could do a story on you and ask you, you know, what you've been doing day in and day out and how you got here. Do you have any money? And they said, what do you mean? For the interview? Mm-hmm. No, we don't pay money for you. What's vete?
Yeah.
And that was it. I said, you sure? A lot of people will see. Maybe they'll help you pull yourself. No quiero.
They don't want to see some of them, but and that's not for everybody, right?
No, that's not for everybody.
And this is the reality that I think people need to be aware of. We help a lot of people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people you don't see.
That's true.
That we are helping. You don't see little kids and moms with kids walking up and down. Well, you don't see it.
No.
We have them somewhere.
Yeah,
we have them in a place.
Absolutely.
We're helping those kids. We're breaking that cycle. We're working very hard to break that cycle of not only poverty, but mental, behavioral health. You know, one of the big things I did as a commission to help education, because as a commissioner, I have no say-so in education. And let's be frank, I sat on the Albuquerque Public School Board of Education for 4 years. I didn't have a say-so in education there. The governor decides what happens in education in the state of New Mexico, right? But I knew that there was other things that I could do that was needed that they were not going to take care of up at the governor's office.
Over and above the call of duty.
So what we knew and what me and you are discussing here now is wraparound services, behavioral health, being able to go to a therapist. Because the counselor that we knew growing up was the counselor saying, oh, well, you got to get this credit and that credit, and apply for this and apply for... That's not a counselor per se when you're looking at somebody who needs
a little
wraparound services, behavioral health services. So before I left, I have put in play 2 mobile school-based health centers that are going to some of the hardest Title I schools in Albuquerque and providing behavioral health services for our children and for their families in a mobile unit. So that was my idea. I got it done. We funded it. It's got reoccurring dollars. They're up and running. They're at schools right now. Congresswoman Stansberry gave me money for a 3rd one. She said, that is a brilliant idea.
Wow. Well,
and I want to do more.
And you can do more.
And we can, because it's a we thing, right? It's not a me thing. It's always a we thing.
Absolutely.
And so I think that if we focused a little harder on those wraparound services, we could start to mitigate that. But it's a long-term plan. There is no short-term plan in what me and you are discussing. They're long-term plans, they're expensive, and we got to put our money where our mouth is.
We'll touch base on that as soon as we come back. We got to pay the bills, as the saying goes. And we're going to tell folks where they can get some absolutely pro video services, including studio. They can make their own movies and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
For our sponsor, we'll be right back. All right, Lesmans.
What do you mean your DJ canceled? Don't panic, Lessmans can help you. You can rent a sound system for your event at Lessmans Pro Audio and Lighting, and they can also show you how to use the sound system you rent. Don't forget, Lessmans also has film equipment, projectors, screens, plus much more. Make your event more memorable with Lessmans Pro Audio and Lighting. Visit Lessmans today at 5413 Lomas Northeast or online at lessmans.com or call 268-2111. That's 268-2111. Lessmans, mean gear.
So welcome back to the Nelson Martinez Show. It's actually the Spanglish Show. We talk a little Spanish, a little English, tú sabes. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Please tell your friends to look us up right here on Facebook or YouTube. Thousands of followers so far, thanks to my son in Reno. He's put up our link. And so they're watching as well. Thank you so much. And guess who our guest is? Back to Steven Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad. Detective Gomez, look out, and more coming. He's going to tell us all about it. We left the subject a while ago about, what was it? I've forgotten the hair.
No, we're talking about some of the things that we need to do in a community. But I also think that it has to do with not only that, but we have to look at opportunities. That we're talking at the beginning of this interview. We talk about opportunities, and so that's something that's always been, a big thing for me.
Sure.
Because like we talked about, nobody, I had to do comedy wherever anybody would give me a mic and a stage and a light. And so I wanted to change that. And so one of the things that we did locally, and I want to talk about how we could do better in this industry and create more opportunities.
Sure.
So I got together with Mark Balia from Lessmans, John Grace from C&M, and the James Douglas Show, which was probably the hottest funk band in New Mexico. And we did a late night talk show together.
And 9/11 messed me up, man. 9/11 messed me up. And the 9/11 wouldn't have happened if you put more Mexicans on airplanes. I mean, think about it. You cannot rob us with a box cutter. What happened? She said, no, bro.
Yeah, I got lost trying to find this place tonight, man. How many people ever get lost in their car and start to panic and do stupid stuff? Like turn off the music like it's gonna help you find your damn way.
I say, you got a little town like Trinidad, be proud. Got something of the world, put it on your sign. Welcome to Trinidad, sex change capital of the world, and have it right next to a no U-turn sign. That'd be funny right there, wouldn't it?
I stared at this girl's boobs one day. She had like a Playboy tank top on. She's like, what the hell are you staring at? I was like, the articles?
But we were poor, kids are spoiled these days, right? They have electronic toys, right? They got the coolest stuff. Right? And we were growing up, we had nada. You know what I got for Christmas? A chunk of wood and a chisel. He goes, Hito, make whatever you want this year.
You guys know the motels, the ones with the marquee says American owned? It says, God bless our troops, we love America, American flags all over the place, and Habu pops out, thank you for coming to the beautiful dude that I've been.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why is this guy wearing a suit? Well, I'll tell you why.
Died of a cocaine overdose, OxyClean. You ever bought OxyClean? It don't clean nothing. But apparently when you're on cocaine, everything gets cleaned. You know what I mean? They just clean it up, clean it.
He's ugly. Oh, get attention, he's ugly. What are you doing? Turn around, look. He's ugly. Look, mija, look.
How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm good, man. Oh, okay.
Ooh, earthquake.
Sorry, I threw a pedo.
Torture and blood and
Crazy, huh?
craziness.
You know, when they get here, they take away their driver's license. A hot band, huh?
Nice man. Let me know wherever they're performing in town, I'm there.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
indeed.
Yeah, and they
Yes,
play
indeed.
all over, man.
Yeah.
They play at the Post 19. Kidding. Brother.
Oh, I love you.
I love you,
And you were
man.
fantastic. Hey, thank you very much. How great was this man? So good. And how much do we love him? Yes.
Hey, we love you, man. We are huge Breaking Bad fans. I know I'm on the show, but I'm,
We get this down to about 45 minutes.
Yeah?
Every morning we'll go and we'll start doing this. Of course, I feel like a sheep now. Anybody need? You can make a sweater.
Anyway, we were talking about the methamphetamine, the methamphetamine that
I wasn't talking about that. Let's talk chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry is a big part of the show.
What show?
All right, that's just scary.
Was I just going to be another actor with a big decision to make? And so there I was. I had to make a decision.
I saw someone the other day, and I just thought, you have so much face in your face. Like, just so much face injected into your face.
I know. It's, you know what, the weird thing is that when they're angry with you, you can't tell. Then I'm sitting there drinking milk. And they're like,
Wow. This is my new partner?
yeah. He goes, we're playing cops, man.
Concrete walls and painted sidewalk created by the feet to touch.
it looks as if I said, don't want you to think that it's your fault. It's just that something inside of me keeps telling me I got to move out. Oh, don't you grab me, because I knew from the start that I wasn't only here for a little while. I've got to go, but I've got to go. I gotta put in another mile.
Somebody please stop this train. Can't ride out the rain. Maybe I'll go back home. Who's this on the phone? My girlfriend. She's so sexy, the one I breathe for. Us both not without sin. Now she's got new friends. Says our love is old. Now she's lost her soul. Cause in that instant, I felt so distant. See what you tasted. You grab it, then waste it. We lose it, then miss it. You ask if I'm addicted.
I don't forget where I come from, so I carry it all with me. It's tatted on my skin, so just bury it all with me. It's street reality, this my ghetto diary. Hustling to feed my family, they ended up crucifying me. Is there a ghetto in heaven? 357s, I'm bucking at men, I'll cut them up in a second. Cause I ride for this territory, money making's mandatory. I'll even die in New Mexico, and you can tell my story.
Girl, I can't take it. Your body naked got me going wild. You know I need you now, babe. We making sexy love from the bed to the hot tub, making things a little hotter. Let's bring another slow jam. Cause it's just you and me, and we can play all night long. So where you wanna go? I take it to my bedroom, take it to my hot tub, take it to the kitchen, up on the table.
I hope you didn't see me peeking through the window. I didn't wanna seem too eager. I opened the door ready to leave, and then my dad walked us to the car. That was embarrassing. It's 2 a.m. It's gonna be another long night, thinking about what could have been if I had been a little more this, a little more that, a little more everything you want.
Now, the man with all the questions and all the answers, Steven Michael Quezada! All right now. One time now.
Open spots on land, keep concrete walls and painted sidewalk, created by the feet to touch the ground. Ooh, my soul cannot be saved from the alleys of the cement boardwalks. Speak so loud, but never make a sound. Ooh, I got all of your desire and your twisted fantasy in my downtown playground. I got all of your sick place, anything you'll ever need in my downtown playground. Ooh.
From the Whitey Eye Historic Full Warehouse, it's the after party with Steven Michael Quezada, featuring the James Douglas Show. Steven's guests tonight are artist Michael Otowski and music from Sonella. And now, the man with all the questions and all the answers, Steven Michael Quezada.
And but we did, but I said I'm willing to do it, but we have to be able. This has to be a training show, so we can work with kids that go to Data and Papa and all
Bravo.
these, who want to get into the TV film industry, the behind the camera stuff, right? And they don't really get those opportunities to train. You have to, right?
Yes.
Not on a live show, not with all these people that I was bringing in. So we created this show called the After Party, and we were going to do like 3 or 4, train some kids, move on.
Yeah.
And we all just said, wow, this looks really good. And and I had Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul and Giancarlo Esposito and all these big actors.
how
And
cool.
these kids were like, what? And so, matter of fact, a lot of those kids ended up going to the film school of their choice after that, because they had this really great footage of this really great show that we had created locally. We were going to do 3 episodes. We ended up doing 103 episodes.
My God, that's great.
Yeah, it took many years out of our life, and we never made no money on it. But actually, that wasn't the goal in the first place. So no one walked away bitter saying we wasted our time, because the goal wasn't to make money. But eventually, we were like, man, we got to figure out how to make money on this
Pay the bills.
because we're working on it a lot, right? Because it's a lot. We're shooting 3 episodes a night.
Wow.
And it was tough.
There we go. It's work.
So, but that was the beginning of my saying we need to create for ourselves, right? So I'm going to do a movie in February here called Duke City, that me and Brett Bettman, a guy that I've done a few movies with, he's out of Texas. He's going to come to New Mexico. He's a great director. He's a great writer. So we're doing one but it's not starring me. It's going to star Raymond Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be Raymond Cruz, me, Sal Lopez from American Me, and Dean Norris, who played my partner in Breaking Bad, is going to come back and play a cop in this film. And so we're doing rewrites on it right now, and so we're trying to create our own content. Now it's crime stuff, and I get it. That's low hanging fruit when it comes to what can sell, what's not going to sell, right? Sure. And we're famous for those types of films from Chicano filmmakers, right? So I mentioned those, like, Raymond Cruz is from Blood In and Blood Out. Sal Lopez is from American Me. These are all based on what it's happened in the barrios where we come from, and right. And so the other choices that me and you did not make, right?
I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
But everybody else may not have had a choice.
They may not have had the opportunity
to make that choice.
Yeah.
So
that's wonderful.
So what I want to do though is I think we have bigger stories, and I think we have better stories, right? So one of the things that I'm working on right now with Tony de la Flora is that we are writing a treatment right now because we're trying to get the rights, but we want to do a Christmas movie. We don't have a Christmas movie.
No, we don't.
So I'm thinking, what would be the best Christmas movie we could possibly do that's culturally significant and meaningful, that stems in the traditions of New Mexico, that's uniquely New Mexico. And I went to go read Christmas books for kids at one of the daycares in my district, and I took Rodolfo Anaya's The Farolitos of Christmas with me, right? What better story? What for us to tell?
No kidding.
Right? That a Christmas movie that we would watch every year, right? Because something that would sustain who we are, our cultures. Now, the children's book doesn't have enough meat in it to make it a movie, so we have to add characters. We've got to create more around it, because unfortunately we don't have Rodolfo Anaya to give us the blessing on what his vision was. So we have to create this vision ourselves, but without really trying to veer too much from the original children's book, but to really have this. And I could guarantee you that once we finish that script, I will have Danny Trejo, George Lopez, all these guys who have, especially like Danny, who's notoriously have to play the bad guy and everything, play a great character in this film, right? Something that would stand the test of times, right? That we could put out those. And so that's just one idea. I wrote another Western called Devil's Hat Man about the Las Gorras Blancas, the Whitecaps up in Las Vegas, New Mexico, in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Remember those guys?
I do.
Well, history painted them as bad guys, but when you did research and read books, you realize they were just people who were fighting for their land.
Well, absolutely. And
they weren't bad people. They weren't doing and committing bad crimes. American history tried to paint them that way.
I know.
But we want to tell the real story.
And also the real story about the conquistadores who came down here. Where are all those notes and all that stuff that they
they burned the natives.
That's it.
They burned the native stories and they added their own. But even those now have, once this became America, or the United States of America, then those stories also were decimated. So we're not only are we missing the Spanish story, we're missing the native story as well.
And it's out there. It's out there with.
But what better place in the United States? What state is set up and has the ability to find those stories and tell those stories better than Nuevo Mexico?
Then what?
Than Nuevo Mexico.
Then Nuevo Mexico, yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is the place. So we have the infrastructure in place. I have a friend, me and Mark, we have a friend, Dennis Chavez from, he owns Revel. Daniel Chavez owns Revel. And he is building 2 movie studios in the South Valley. He also sees and this is a smart businessman. He's wealthy because he's smart. And he's building 2 film studios for lower budget, lower independent type of films to come in to Albuquerque and do that type of work. We have the infrastructure in place. We're building on that infrastructure. Now we need the writers, the storytellers, the story. This should be the home base for not only Latino,
especially, bro,
but also Native American content.
Absolutely.
Both types of cultures. This should be the home base for that type of. Have you seen? It's on AMC. Dark Winds.
No, I
It's
haven't.
the Native American. They're shooting
yes,
it in Santa Fe.
I have seen it. I have.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Aren't they awesome? Those actors are top notch.
Yes, they are.
They're as good as anybody out there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all a Native American content, and Native American storytelling at a high level, and they deserve to be standing next to us, the Chicanos, doing that same thing.
We deserve to be hearing from Steven Michael Quezada like this every day or every chance. Seriously, you're a good ambassador, if you will, because I see it, I feel it, I hear it. You're into it, and we need to have more people get on your tailcoats or coattails, whatever you call it.
I want them to work with me. I want them to say, hey, I have these ideas, or I have these stories.
Well, you've certainly impressed me, that's for sure.
I have ability to get the finances, right? So we need to get that. Those are the people that we need to build up in order for us to really break into this industry.
We're going to take another short break. Don't go away. Steven Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad and other adventures that you're going to hear about. But you're also going to hear about a great comedy club here in Albuquerque. So don't go away. We're going to hear from our great sponsor. Let's hear it for Lesbians.
What do you mean your DJ canceled? Don't panic, Lesman's can help you. You can rent a sound system for your event at Lesman's Pro Audio and Lighting, and they can also show you how to use the sound system you rent. Don't forget, Lesman's also has film equipment, projectors, screens, plus much more. Make your event more memorable with Lesman's Pro Audio and Lighting. Visit Lesman's today at 5413 Lomas Northeast or online at lesmans.com or call 268-2111. That's 268-2111. Lesman's Mean Gear.
And so we were talking just briefly with Steven Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad and so many other projects that we're really impressed by our local man here. He's very local, and he's here to encourage me and others like you to get in the biz maybe and know that you can do it no matter what.
That's right.
Thank you, Steven.
And no matter your age, right? I want people to realize that, I stepped in the room for Breaking Bad at 44 years old.
Right on.
Nobody knew that journey of Steven Michael Quezada from 17 to 44 years old.
That's right.
But me and my close friends and people who've been involved in all, from theater, from starting as a theater actor, writing plays, producing my own plays,
Look at that.
right? And to all the way to that journey. But that journey's not done. So through this, my comedy career kicked in. I became a comic more than I became an actor. I stuck to comedy because it was a way to feed my family, raise my daughters, pay my bills. And I love stand-up comedy. So that is why I have partnered with Santa Ana Star Casino and the Tribe to open Quezada's Comedy Club in Cantina inside the casino.
Love it.
Next weekend is our 1-year anniversary. It took me 4 months to take a concept of a club and to turn it into an A-list comedy club around the country. It is the first comedy club ever with a Chicano's name on the back of the wall. So when you come in and perform in my club, it says Quezada's Comedy Club and Cantina on the wall. First time ever, right? They're always called Laughs, or they're always called, Funny Bone, or Hyenas, or whatever. Yeah. So this is Quezada's. We went with marketing, being local, coming from a local guy. But the reason why I did this, Nelson, is that I wanted to give local comedians an opportunity to work with these A-list comics so they could build a resume, so they can envision and work on building a career for themselves. And I didn't want to do this just because, hey, this is a good idea and I want to put money in my pocket, because everything I've ever done has been bigger than that. It has to be about other people, right?
Amen.
I went to a funeral today of a really good friend of mine. And when I was driving over, this thought came across me. None of us get to escape death, but so many of us escape life.
Here, here.
And we can't do that, right? We need to be good to be people. When we get up, we got to think, how can I help people? Even people that I don't know. How do I help people that are different than me, or think different than me, or born different than me, or love different than me, right? I don't.
All those things. Can you write me a check?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can't separate that from me wanting to get up and figure out, yes, how can I be creative and be the artist that I want? Because I do get benefit from that.
Right.
But how do I do it in a way that is going to help and create opportunities for other people? And that's what the Comedy Club is really about. Cool. It was really about, so this weekend we are going to do, it was my 1 year anniversary. They wanted me to headline, and I said, how about this? How about I host and I celebrate all the features and opening acts out of Albuquerque that we used to get us through this year to be a successful comedy club. How about we showcase them? I will host the show, and let's make it more about them than about me.
Right on. Bravo. Bravo. Well, here's one story you can tell on your opener, or give it to a story I always tell about Halloween. My aunt, mi tia, Chimayo, every year she'd have a Halloween party. And there were 3 guys, my primos, that wanted to go every year, and they said, no, miatros, you guys are terrible. Fine, says, look, we promise we'll be good. Okay, but dress up, do some creativeness. Okay, party's at 8. Okay, Halloween night arrives. So they start showing up. The first one is dressed in a taco shell, with lettuce coming out. Rings the doorbell. She opens up. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Can't you tell I'm a taco? Very good. Come on in, join the party. Second one shows up, and he's got a tortilla covered all over the place. Also, tomatoes is flowing out. Oh my, what are you coming up? Can't you tell I'm a burrito? Right on, come on in. My third cousin shows up. All he had on was a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. She answers the door and says, oh my, what are you coming at? Can't you tell? Huevos rancheros. Isn't that cool? So use that one, please.
I think I'll skip that one.
You get a name
just because it's visually,
that's why
now I can't get the visual out of my head, Nelson.
But I love your, one of these days I'm going to make time and go visit your. I always say,
I'll tell you this, it don't matter if I'm there. And people go, when are you perform? I go, that doesn't matter. I am bringing you the top-notch comedians in the country.
Yes, you are.
This is an A-list club. I'm not bringing the rookies. I'm not bringing the up-and-comings. I'm bringing the ones who have made it. Yeah. And they're coming. Yeah.
How can you afford it, by the way?
Well,
they're expensive.
Well, you do deals with them,
you do
right?
deals.
So you do door deals with them. So if they're selling, then they're going to come here and make a good amount of money.
Sure.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
More money than I've ever made as a comedian.
Your clubs are packed.
It's a 300-seat venue, and they're selling out 4 shows on the weekend.
Let's talk about, where is it again, so people who are listening.
So it's inside the Santa Ana Star Casino in Bernalillo.
In Bernalillo, it's 550. The road's 550.
So
So there's the casino right off the thing.
You'll see it. You just get up the freeway. You go up towards Cuba.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And right before you get to Rio Rancho through Bernalillo.
Right.
Right? And to the right, there's a big, giant hotel. It says Santa Ana Star on there.
Can't miss it.
And you can't miss it. And it's a great venue. We built it brand new.
Beautiful.
I got to be part of the design team because it had to function the way I needed it to function.
Yeah.
I like certain comedy clubs, and some are more successful than others because of how the room looks, how the room functions. All that matters to me. How does it sound?
And New Mexicans in
Yeah.
general are quite supportive, especially when they know it's run by
Yeah.
homegrown.
Yeah, well, you know, they have been.
Yeah.
They have been. And look, man, I wouldn't have a career without New Mexicans.
There you
People they came and saw my plays that I wrote when I was a mocoso, and I really didn't know what I was doing, and
Mocoso,
but I
that's
did it
good.
anyway, and they came and they saw my plays and they supported them, and you know, I've had so many blessed people in my life. Rosemary Edwards, who was a manager and went to LA, but she would fund, you know, my plays, and she would, I mean, she believed in me. You know, I'm nothing. No one does nothing on their own. No one's a solo act.
No.
Even as a comedian, I may be standing up there, but you know, I'm talking about my wife and my kids. And if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't have that. If I didn't have my manager who books my shows and runs all my contracts, I wouldn't be standing on that stage,
No,
right?
well, no, ser solo.
Nobody does it, right?
And shout out to your wife, lovely lady stands behind you.
My wife is my number one
I
supporter,
hear you.
so thank you for not letting me forget
absolutely.
that, because she's the glue to me.
Yes, sir.
She's the one who fixed this broken Chicano, right? She fixed me. She put glue and fixed me and put me right on the right path and changed my life. And we together raised 3 beautiful daughters, and now we get to reap our own rewards. And you know, she works hard every day. She's a hardworking woman. I can't express enough how hard she works and how much she cares for her family. And I mean, my 91-year-old mother's with us now.
Oh,
I built her
sweet.
an apartment onto my house, so she has her own apartment.
Oh, how nice.
But she takes care of my mother like she's her mother.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And so you hear so many horrible stories about hating the mother-in-law, and you know, people have written jokes about it. It's so kind of famous. I'm so blessed I don't have that. They're like this. They love each other very much. And my wife's amazing. You're right. She's an amazing. She's the policy analyst for Clarissa Pena, Councilor Pena. So she's also involved in the work in the community and who's doing what and how things are getting done. And she actually gets the work done. She's just amazing. I can't speak highly enough about how incredible my wife is.
That's great. Steven Michael Quezada, I am so pleased for your time, and you're a busy guy.
Sure.
And who is the Nelson Martinez Show? Nobody really, and you made it a little notch higher with your class act.
I don't want you saying that.
And I love you, dude.
And I don't want you saying that no more,
No,
man, because
no,
a lot of us.
Yeah, I know, but still.
A lot of us.
But you're up front, and
well, okay,
you
my
know,
9-year-old
people
mother remembers you. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I know.
No. There's a lot of us. You know, all my friends that I grew up with are all still alive, but one.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of us from that generation that looked up to you, and we're still around. And so you have a fan base. So you don't, don't ever,
Thank you.
You don't say
Thank
that
you.
no more.
Oh,
you
man,
just
okay.
say, hey, I am Nelson Martinez, and I'm still here, baby.
I need you as my agent, bro.
You do.
Steven Michael Quezada, what a wonderful person, as you can tell, even through electronics. And thank you for tuning us in. He'll be on the archives all the time, so if you want to tell your friends about it, there's an interview with the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez, and my webpage is nelsonmartineztv.com. Simple as that. Gracias, señor. Un placer. And we'll see you next time.